Hello and welcome to the Capitol Report on NTD Television. I'm Steve Lance. Skepticism of the government's handling of unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs, on full display in Congress. Halls packed with interested citizens. NTD's Melina Wisecup was at today's Oversight Subcommittee hearing, where 3 witnesses shared their firsthand encounters with UAPs that have been suppressed or ignored. So Melina, tell us, what did you learn from those witnesses today?
A lot to take in from these witnesses, but one important point is that even when they do encounter UAPs or UFOs, there's no acknowledgement or legitimate way to report them. That's even when they're so close and possibly endangered by these encounters, as described by one of the witnesses, Ryan Graves, who's a former Navy lieutenant. He described a case where an object was flying within 50 feet of the aircraft he was in.
Nothing tethering it to the ground. These sightings are not rare or isolated. They are routine. The stigma attached to UAP is real and powerful and challenges national security. It silences commercial pilots who fear professional repercussions.
And another witness, who's a former Pentagon intelligence officer who also worked on a UAP task force, says that the government has likely had knowledge of non-human activity since the 1930s.
Of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program.
But like much of what we heard today, details of specific locations can't be publicly divulged.
Yet we don't have access to it, that someone else is profiting from it.
Weapons projects that are unsanctioned or that we don't have oversight of, I mean, that's problematic.
Honestly, I'm concerned that we're not utilizing this technology to the maximum extent possible.
And Grush says he wants to share more classified information with lawmakers in the SCIF, which is a location here in Congress where they can discuss classified information. But so far, they faced pushback against this effort.
Yeah, Melina, we know this is a bipartisan topic. You have concerns from both Democrats and Republicans who are trying to understand the extent and magnitude of the situation. Do you expect any legislation to come out of this?
Lawmakers say they're working on perhaps more whistleblower protection laws to encourage more witnesses like the ones here today to come forward with more information. Another congressman says that if they're denied the ability to continue this investigation, targeting the money could be successful.
There are things that Congress could do to defund salaries, agencies, and programs.
And Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer introduced a bipartisan bill that would declassify UFO records, and he plans to introduce this as part of an amendment to the defense bill later this week. Reporting from Capitol Hill, Melina Wisecup, NTD News. No deal for Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden's plea agreement falling through today, this after a federal judge questioned the constitutionality of the deal. NTD's legal correspondent Arlene Richards has the details.
The plea agreement between President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, and the Justice Department fell apart on Wednesday after Judge Mary Ellen Noreika questioned the specifics of the deal. Hunter was expected to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax counts of willful failure to pay federal income tax as part of the deal to avoid jail time on a felony gun charge. Prosecutors were planning to recommend 2 years probation and to wipe the gun charge from Hunter's record. But Noreika, a Trump appointee, was concerned about the constitutionality of the deal. According to the Associated Press, the judge said it seemed like the parties just wanted to rubber stamp the agreement. A key question was whether or not prosecutors planned to continue their investigation and if more charges were expected in the future. Prosecutors confirmed that Hunter was still under investigation but didn't offer any details. Noreika gave both sides 30 days to explain why she should accept the deal. Hunter pleaded not guilty to the tax charges. In a separate twist to the case, the House Ways and Means Committee filed a brief late Tuesday asking the court not to accept the plea deal. Contained in their submission was information related to IRS whistleblower testimony. But shortly after their motion was filed, a court clerk received a call requesting that sensitive grand jury, taxpayer, and Social Security information be kept under seal. The clerk said the lawyer identified herself as an attorney for the Ways and Means Committee, but she was in fact a lawyer with the defense team. Attorneys for the defense said there was a misunderstanding. Judge Noreika threatened to sanction the law firm, but then she temporarily placed the documents under seal. The defense had until the close of business today to explain why the documents should remain under seal. Meanwhile, House Republicans are continuing their probe of the Bidens. Hunter's associate Devin Archer is slated to testify to the House Oversight Committee on July 31st. In a social media post on Monday, committee chairman James Comer said, "We look forward to speaking with Devon Archer on Monday about Joe Biden's involvement in his family's business affairs." He told Fox News on Tuesday why it's important to get Archer's testimony.
So Devon Archer would know more about particularly Burisma than anyone we could talk to, because Devon Archer was on the board of Burisma with Hunter Biden.
Archer was sentenced to 1 year in prison in 2022 for defrauding a Native American tribe. He and others used Hunter Biden's name to convince the tribe to invest assets. Emails show Hunter was involved with Archer's firm, but Hunter's lawyer said he was unaware of the scheme. Comer has said that investigators obtained evidence that the president was in communication with some of Hunter's business associates. He said Burisma, that Ukrainian energy company, is at the center of everything in their investigation.
And as the controversy grows, the White House today getting pressed on a shift in messaging about President Biden's involvement in his son's business dealings. NTD's Iris Tao has more on the administration's latest reaction.
The White House today sidestepped most questions about Hunter Biden's court appearance while saying this about the president's son.
Hunter Biden is a private citizen. The president, the first lady, they love their son and they support him as he continues to rebuild his life.
But the White House today got pressed on what seemed to be a change in narratives about President Biden's involvement in Hunter's business dealings. And President Biden has previously said that he had never talked to Hunter about his overseas business dealings. But on Monday, the White House press secretary used a slightly different wording.
The president was never in business with his son. I just don't have anything else to add.
And of course, never been in business versus never talked about it could mean two very different things. And that prompted House Republicans to say on Wednesday,
"This rigorous oversight has certainly rattled the White House, who suddenly has shifted its public position surrounding Joe Biden's knowledge and involvement in Hunter Biden's foreign business dealings."
But a White House press secretary today defended her previous comments, though without giving a clear yes or no to questions about
which statement is true, or is this semantics and they're both true?
As I stated on Monday, when I was asked this question multiple times, nothing has changed.
But can you say specifically that the president did not have discussions of any kind with Hunter about his business dealings?
Nothing has changed. I don't have anything to add to what I stated on Monday.
And this new scrutiny over the White House's description of President Biden's involvement comes amid whistleblower allegations that President Biden had repeatedly talked to Hunter's business partners over the phone. And that whistleblower is set to testify on Monday. Reporting from the White House, Iris Tao, NTD News.
What's it been like at the southern border since the end of Title 42? Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas facing a storm from Republican lawmakers this morning over his border policies. NTD's Sam Wong brings us the details.
On Wednesday, Republicans on the House Judiciary Committee grilled Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas over his handling of the U.S. southern border. In the opening remark, Chairman Jim Jordan described the Biden administration's border policy as disastrous management. Mayorkas defended himself, saying that the border is not open and his policies are working.
Our approach to managing the borders securely and humanely, even within our fundamentally broken immigration system, is working.
Over the last few months, House Republicans have been gearing up to launch a potential impeachment proceeding against the secretary. They accuse Mayorkas of undermining the operational control of the southern border, encouraging illegal immigration, and lying to Congress. Some Republican members on the committee told me that Mayorkas and the Biden administration have done very little to stop the influx of illegal immigrants.
Well, the reality is very clear. It's that we have had a historic level of illegal border crossings since this administration began. We're talking about 5.6 million as well as 1.5 million known gotaways.
But I think the evidence is very clear that they're padding the numbers a little bit right now, redefining whether or not somebody was actually at the border and had contact with a border agent.
The southern border has long been a battleground for partisan disputes. Just recently, the Biden administration sued Texas Governor Greg Abbott over a floating buoy barrier installed along the Rio Grande to deter illegal immigrants from crossing the river. Democrats on the committee praised Mayorkas, saying that the border situation is under control.
Border crossings are down right now, so we should all be celebrating the work that they're doing. It's a tough job, right?
Whatever Mayorkas did worked. That's what we should be talking about right now.
Since the end of Title 42, the Biden administration has implemented new measures requiring border crossers to schedule interviews through the CBP One app. And all applicants must have records of asylum claims in other countries before reaching U.S. soil. Mayorkas insisted that illegal crossings at the southern border have dropped by more than half compared to the number prior to the end of Title 42. Reporting from Washington, D.C., Sam Wang, NTD News.
Thank you for watching the Capitol Report. If you want to see our full broadcast, check us out at epochtv.com.